Okay, well, welcome everyone to our monthly chamber mixer, where we make new connections, have fun, and get to know one of our members better through short video and Q&A. I'm Patty Villeneuve. I am your chamber president and CEO. Joining me to make sure the show runs without a hitch is your chamber office manager, Colleen Brock. Tonight, our co-host and spotlight member is Elysian Desert Distillery and Mike McQuiggan. He's here with us this evening. So I will just say, if you have questions for Mike after the video, we hope to pick his brain about his business and the deliciousness that he serves there. Put it in the chat and we'll get to those questions. But before we show the video, I want to recognize our chamber board members and our ambassadors that are on the call. So Steve Morse with State Farm is your chamber board chair. So thank you, Steve. We have Eric Toohey with Tons Media Group, and also on our board as our board secretary. So he keeps us in our mindsets with our P's and Q's. And then on the ambassador side, we have Ashley Ware, who is your chairman of our ambassador committee with the Desert Foothills Library. Eric Toohey also serves on the ambassador committee. We have Sean Nesbitt, who is also with us tonight. He's a past president of the chamber board and a past chair several times of the ambassador committee. So I appreciate you guys and all that you do for our chamber, and thank you for joining us. So again, as we watch the video, remember to place your questions in the chat, and we will talk to Mike as soon as the video is over.
I have no sound.
For those of you, hi, welcome to Elysian Desert Distilleries. My name's Mike McQuiggan. For those of you that aren't aware, we are in the process of changing our name to Carefree Spirit Distillery. Our tasting room is located in Cave Creek. The distillery is actually up in Carefree. Something exciting that we have to tell you about is we put into escrow this last week a 1-acre parcel in Carefree on Cave Creek Road, just south of Tom Darlington, where we plan to build out a brand new distillery, bottling plant, tasting room, event center, and retail shop that we hope to become a destination location in the town of Carefree. We look forward to seeing you in our tasting room. I hope you've enjoyed our presentation this afternoon, and I look forward to seeing you soon, and I can answer any questions at this time. Thanks again.
All right.
So wow, Mike. So that's some pretty exciting news.
So,
So
yeah, I don't know if,
when do you expect, go ahead.
I don't know if anybody else had issues with the video. Mine was blacked out a few times, but I could hear the voice and everything. So yes, we're changing the name to Carefree Spirits Distillery. And we should close on the 1 acre commercial parcel Friday. And we've already hired the architect to start working on it, on the distillery, the destination location. We want to build something really classy. And it's right on the main strip on Cave Creek Road. So we're really excited for 2022.
That's exciting stuff. I will say that for the comments about the blackout, I did have just one little piece that was blacked out in the video, but it will live on our YouTube channel. So if anyone missed important parts of it, you can check out our YouTube channel after this call. So we have one question in there, and a reminder to everyone who's on the call, if you have a question for Mike, put it in the chat and we'll have him answer. I did want to mention while we were watching the video, I just wanted to introduce and welcome Councilman from Carefree, Gina Rico. Thanks for joining us this evening. So the first question is, do you host events currently, or will you at your new location?
So yeah, we're the second floor. We plan on having 3,000 to 4,000 square foot event center, where we can bring in conventions for hotel, conventions, events. We expect to have a look down where people can see the bottling lines and watch the production going on in the tasting room. Again, this is at the very first steps of getting open. I have to tell you, I have to thank everybody here. When we just had opened our tasting room in Cave Creek in January, and in the middle of March, the first 2 weeks of March, we did more business in that Cave Creek tasting room than we did all last year in our Carefree tasting room. And then we shut down. But because alcohol is an essential product, I got to sit there. I sat there every day from noon to 4, 7 days a week for 9 weeks. And out of all that time, I only had 2 days where someone didn't come in and buy a bottle. So the locals were amazingly supportive of us. And I can't thank everybody enough for that.
Well, I can say that that was my, during COVID, the first few weeks of it was my introduction to the Chakra vodka, and it's amazing. And for those of you that are vodka drinkers, it's one smooth spirit. So someone would like to know more about your mixology classes.
So right now we do a small group mixology class. We've had 2 classes so far. It's pretty exclusive. Because we make all of it, we make all of our own bitters, our own liqueurs. Everything in our shop is made from scratch. We don't purchase anything from the outside. So when you come to the mixology class, we give you all the equipment. We teach you 2 drinks, give you the recipes for them. We give you a bottle of bourbon and a bottle of vodka. It's $250 a person. And I can tell you that the first 2 classes were huge successes. We limit it to 6 people. We do it currently on Mondays because we're closed on Mondays. So it's truly a private event.
Will you be able to, or are you planning on keeping both of the tasting rooms open once your building is complete, or what's your plan
So
for
our
the other
lease,
2?
we have 3.5 years left on our lease in Cave Creek, Cave Creek. I get the 2 names screwed up all the time. But it's kind of a quaint location. It wouldn't have the concerned about our capacity right now. We're getting very busy. and so we have to control how many people can come in there. So I truly believe that will continue to stay open after our lease is up, because it's got a different flavor than the big building we're going to build. But we still want to keep the same quality and detail to attention when we're at the new, when we build out the new place.
Someone asked, how large of a group will you be able to host in your new location? And how about how many you can host in your current location?
So right now we ask if there's a party of 4 or more that they call and set up a reservation with us, so we can set up an area for them. The most we can probably handle in this current location, it starts to stretch once you get to 10. Because of our size there. We built a nice outside patio, so as it gets nicer, we can probably accommodate more on the outside. But the inside, it's kind of hard to get more than 6 or 8 on the inside. The new place, we expect to be able to hold private events, wedding events, all kinds of different things there. So that's a strategy.
That's a strategy. The next question is, do you sell pre-mixed drinks?
We're not there yet. No, everything we do is in-house. We're not set up to allow drinks to go out the door. We're not a restaurant, and we're not going to be a restaurant, so we can't do the outbound drinks that the restaurants were able to do. And we don't plan to be in a restaurant in the new location. We will have a small kitchen, a commercial grade kitchen, but that's part of what we'll be using to make all of our liqueurs, our bitters, everything we make is made in-house. We make all of our own Bloody Mary mix. It's all, tomatoes are roasted and stewed from scratch. So we'll have that at the new location, but that location will be able to hold and handle much larger groups. Very
nice. Someone's asking about your flavors of vodka.
Yeah, so we have 7 flavored vodkas. It's called Chakra vodka. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the yoga term and the energy centers in the body. The vodka is distilled 6 times, filtered 5. There's no sugar added. It's naturally gluten-free. It was in an international tasting contest last October. There were 34 countries involved. There were over 250 distilleries in the United States involved in it. All the flavors, we got 5 silver medals and 2 bronze medals. Our non-flavored vodka received a gold medal, and out of all those entries, there were only 127 gold medal winners. Now our vodka that's non-flavored, we call Ascension. Total Wines just picked it up on Friday for all their stores in this state. They already have our bourbon in this. They already have our bourbon in the stores here in the area.
That's very cool. Congratulations on that.
Thanks. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
So, I mean, I get calls now from around the country. I get calls from Canada wanting the product. So we do expect this to grow to a national platform, and maybe at some point in time into an international platform, but we're just starting. It's only been, we started this in 2016 when I retired, and my wife, who works out of the house and has for 10 years, said, "You can't hang around here. You got to have a hobby." And we were drinking at lunch one day, and she goes, "I know what you can do." She has a farm in Kansas. It's been in her family since the early 1900s. She goes, "Let's use the corn from my farm and make whiskey." And I'm like, "I don't know how to do that." She goes, "No, it'll be a fun hobby. And then when I retire, it'll be something that we can do together and we'll have a lot of fun and let's do it. So I went online and I found a place called Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky. And the two of us flew there in January of 2017 and took a 1-week distiller's training course on how to open and operate a distillery. One of the things they told us there when we were in the training course, they said, look, it's going to take you 2 to 3 years to get licensed as a distillery. Get somebody to make your mash bill right now. That's your recipe. Get it in your barrels and get it in storage so it starts aging, so that when you're finally licensed in 2 or 3 years, you have your own product you can sell. And that's what we did, and that's where we are today. And so that's how it all started. And it was just from her idea that I needed a hobby, and it's getting to be a big hobby.
That's awesome. Someone says, is the new location the ultimate goal for your brand, or do you have other master plans?
So the name change of the distillery was critical. Carefree Spirit Distillery. We had a lot of people having a real issue with Elysian, which is the Greek word for heavenly or paradise. But I've had people come in asking if we're part of the Elysian Brewery out of Washington. And so it just was too much conflict. So it was easier to change the name and actually keep it local, which was our goal. But our products, we really do most of our marketing to promote our products. So we have Carefree Bourbon. We do a 90 proof, which is our standard. And then we do a limited supply of Barrel Select, which is, you know, much higher proof, 115. It can be from 115 to 118 proof, depending on where it's set in the warehouse, because it goes in at about 122 proof, but you get evaporation and different things that happen as it's aging over the years. Our vodkas all are, you know, fit the yoga, meditation type things. So the bottles are all unique. They kind of match here. Let me see if I can put one up. So this is one of our bottles. And as you can see, it's got a yoga position in the bottle for that particular spot. This one is green tea, mint and matcha. That is our heart chakra. And this one is honey and lemon balm. So that's our throat chakra. And you can see the different yoga positions match each of the chakra points. So the lineup is pretty attractive. We think that has a lot of legs, especially internationally, with the Hindus and the Buddhists, that they all drink and they're way into meditation, and this is right up their alley.
Someone asked if you work with a distributor or do you work all on your own?
So far, with our craft distillery license in Arizona, I am allowed to self-distribute in the state. So I'm the one that got us in all the different bars and restaurants throughout the area, Mastro's, Capitol Grill, and most of the bars and restaurants in Carefree and Cave Creek. We're licensed in California, Texas, and Tennessee. I expected to be in 20 states last year, but with COVID, everything shut down. We had to we drew back on that immensely. We distribute currently in California through a distributor. When I'm out of state, I have to go through a distributor. One of the things with COVID, a number of states helped create laws in their states that never existed before, where a distillery, right now wineries around the country can ship from their winery direct to a consumer. Distilleries can't do that. A number of states changed their laws that said that distilleries can ship direct to a consumer. So we're investigating those states to get licensed in there and to set everything up in those states to be able to ship from here in our distillery here direct to a consumer. But there's a lot of paperwork involved in that. We have to send the excise tax in for the bottles we're selling to that specific state. So the largest source of revenue to the United States after personal income tax is the excise tax on alcohol.
So that leads into the next question. It's a really good one. Is that, do you find that the regulations, where did it go? The regulations in Arizona, how does it affect your industry positively or negatively?
Arizona has one of the best craft distillers liquor licenses in the country. By allowing me to be able to self-distribute in the state, to go door to door to the restaurants and bars, it's just amazing. No other state allows that. Every other state requires a distributor, and the only person that's going to sell it is me. Their distributors aren't going to sell the product for you.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're certainly not going to give the experience that you yourself would be giving to the person you're selling to. I think we all face that as business owners, is our employees. We pray that the experience they're giving to their customers, their guests, their clients are the same as the owner, for sure.
I've got three employees that are absolutely phenomenal, that
mm-hmm.
do everything that you can imagine in the locations. So I have a mixologist that specializes in making all the liquor, the liqueurs, the bitters, and all the recipes are all done, and he does all that work. But when he's out and about, he also sells the product at other bars, so he gets commission for selling the product in bars and restaurants. And that's true of all the employees. And the other employees work in the distillery. I've got people in there right now that are bottling and labeling bottles and filling them. Right now, we do everything by hand. So our ability to scale is extremely limited until we can build our new plant. For example, when I was working in Texas, I had a company that wanted to buy the product. They wanted a pallet, which is 90 cases of each flavor and the Ascension at 4 different locations. I couldn't even come close to touching that kind of production. So that's why we need to build this out. It's just time. What's nice is most distilleries build this distillery with millions and millions of dollars of equipment and putting everything in place, and then they hope their product is good and somebody's going to buy it. We did it just the opposite. We did it, as bare bones as you could possibly be, and do everything manually, and the product is taken off, and now here we are. It's been a lot of fun.
Which vodka flavor is your favorite or your best seller?
The Ascension, which is the non-flavored, is my favorite. I mean, it's just amazing. We have 4 flavors that really sell over the other 3. And a lot of it just has to do with timing of the year and the type of craft cocktails we make with them. But our peach and hibiscus, pineapple and rosemary, grapefruit and lavender, and green, and the lychee, coconut, and jasmine are by far the fastest movers. We're currently out of the peach and hibiscus. We'll be bottling that next week. And we're out of the pineapple and rosemary, and we'll be bottling that the following week.
You're making me thirsty.
Well, it's his happy hour, so cheers.
So
all right,
wants
Gino.
To know,
look at Gino.
Somebody wants to know exactly where the new location is going to be. So is it on where Let There Be Light property, or is it going to be on the Spanish?
Yeah, so where the Let There Be Light truck is parked on that empty lot right there on Cave Creek Road is where we're going to build everything. And what's nice is
part of the land is all the parking on the other side of the driveway. So we've got a lot of parking space already in place that's already built. And then we'll add more when we build out the distillery.
Nice. Somebody wants to know what you did before you retired and started this company.
I was the CEO of a national mortgage company and didn't know anything about liquor other than drink it. And what I realized is I went from one highly regulated industry to the next most highly regulated industry. The government reports I have to submit each month are absolutely unbelievable. You have to account for every ounce of alcohol that you're dealing with when it's the federal government.
So someone wants to know what was the idea behind and the concept of the new logo. It's really cool.
So a couple of things. The Elysian people really had a hard time pronouncing, understanding it. And then the actual conflict with people coming in thinking we were part of the brewery company. And as we started to make more and more headway in Carefree and Cave Creek, and with the distillery actually in Carefree, it just made a lot of sense to go Carefree Spirits Distillery. It really makes it home for who we are and what we're doing. And I think part of the name's going to do a lot to drive and attract attention to the environment. And that's part of the other part of the goal. I think we could really become a destination like the wineries and the other places around the country. So
Someone
right now,
wants to know if you,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Someone wants to know if you sell gift cards to a tasting room.
We do. We have gift cards. We have gift boxes. We have small retail. When we go to the new place, we just don't have the space to do a lot where we are in Cave Creek. We'll build a retail shop. We'll have more flexibility to do a lot of more things than we can. Right now, we're concerned with the amount of people we can actually have in our store because we're getting people come in and it's just been amazing. Even after, after COVID, and COVID's not over.
Are you restricted to the 25% capacity?
No, we're not a bar. We're not a restaurant. We're a tasting room. We have separated the tables and the bar chairs at the bar, the outside patio, everything's separated. So, when it's nice out, a lot of people like to sit outside. So far, we've made it without having to hold people from being able to come in. I don't really want to get into that issue.
It would be a great problem to have, not with restrictions. I mean, if it was so crowded that it was like velvet ropes and stanchions and limousines, that would be a great thing to have.
Well, it's just, we're trying to create an experience for someone that really enjoys what's going on there. It's unique. Mm-hmm. It's not like you go into a bar and they throw a drink together for you. It's part of a show, actually. I mean, we have 15 different, old-fashioned recipes that we have that are just, chocolate old-fashioned, walnut old-fashioned, fig old-fashioned, vanilla old-fashioned, and all the ingredients are made from scratch. So the people are like, wow, this is something else. This is an experience. And same thing with all the vodka drinks. We do flights of 4, so people can taste all the different flavors. It's been a lot of fun considering.
Someone wants to know, is there a subscription model allowed for Spirit?
I'm sorry,
not sure what that means.
I don't understand that question.
maybe that person who put that question in the chat, maybe they could clarify what subscription means. Oh, buy it through the mail. Are you able to?
I can ship direct to consumers in the state of Arizona, which is another nice thing with the craft distillery license. I can't ship out of state to individuals until I explore those new state licenses. I can ship, if somebody's in California or one of the states I'm licensed in, they can go to a local bar or restaurant and I can ship it to my distributor and they'll deliver it to the restaurant. And we'll do it 1 or 2 bottles at a time. We're not particular. We're just trying to get the product out to the public.
I might have missed this in the beginning of the story, but are you moving the distillery to the new location?
Yes, yes. We just don't have the capacity to do what we're doing in the location we're at. But again, that's 2 years from now. I don't expect, it's going to take us until probably November, December, just to get through the Carefree planning and zoning and then through the permit process before we can actually break ground.
Well, Gino Orico is here to help you with that, right, Gino? Thumbs up.
Gino's been one of our biggest supporters since the first day I met him. He has been an amazing supporter for us.
That's awesome. Someone says, a follow-up to the subscription service, says sign members up for a subscription and send them a new flavor or Carefree merchandise via mail. So just another marketing tactic. Good idea.
That is a good idea. That is a good
Are
idea.
there any? Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
So when there's a limited amount of workforce, with me being mostly the only guy doing it, and then my staff, you know, they're wearing multiple hats themselves, working in the distillery, working in the tasting room, doing the social media stuff. There's only 4 of us that are working full time. So it kind of limits our ability to do a lot of things that we want to do so far. And we're still brand new, so we're still trying to get to the point where we make a profit. There is that, but I think that can happen quite quickly, actually. Like I said, Total Wines just picked up the Ascension, our non-flavored vodka, in all their stores on Friday. So I'm delivering tomorrow throughout the state. And once we start doing our tastings with the vodka and the bourbon in the Total Wine stores, you'd be surprised how fast the product moves. It just explodes out the door. We'll sell 4 or 5 cases in one 3-hour tasting. But then it gets back to managing a business and your production capabilities. So we're trying to manage the growth and still take care of everybody's needs.
You know, having tasted the vodka, I can understand why, because it's the smoothest vodka I've ever experienced before.
I hear the word smooth 98% of the time for both the bourbon and the vodka. So the bourbon starts off soft on the palate, and then you get the flavors of vanilla and caramel, and you can feel the warmth going down, but you don't get a real harsh bite like you will with a lot of other liquors.
Someone wants to know, what does your distribution pitch look like to a restaurant, bar, or store?
With me, I just walk in like this. Hi, I've got a local woman-owned distillery tasting. Would you like to taste the bourbon and see if you'd like to put it on your shelves? So the distillery is woman-owned. My wife is 70% owner of it. It was all her concept, her idea, and her farm. Now, we're not using the corn from her farm right now, but that's the ultimate goal. We're going to want to put the distillery actually on the farm and use her corn as we grow more internationally. right now, what we're building in Carefree, or what we plan to build in Carefree, is our #1 chore right now. And it's going to take a lot of energy to get that thing off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which
yeah, when
leads
you
to the
walk
next
in,
one.
you let people taste it, and you know, it sells itself. I was shocked when I got called from Roman at the Mastros here saying people were asking for it. So I went in and they got it right away when we first started to open. So he's been a big supporter of us. Just not everybody in the town. I mean, I can go up and down the street of the bars and restaurants, and I don't know if you could see clearly the page at the very last slide that showed all the locations that carried the products.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was amazed at that. That's a lot of hard work for 4 people. You should be really proud.
It's you know, for 2 years, for, you know, just being open 2 years, we opened March of 19 in Carefree, and then we opened the Cave Creek tasting room January of last year. I mean, we're pretty excited to be where we are positioned today in the marketplace. And then when we saw the sign for sale sign, the way it actually first started, we saw the big, huge for sale sign on TC's property in Cave Creek at the Outlaws place. And we met with him a couple of times, and that was, you know, we had to go through the process, but it started our minds thinking that, okay, this is our next step. And then when I drove up the street and saw Steve Steve Gold just put a sign up for that lot, he put it up on Thursday. I met with him, my wife and I met with him on Sunday. He had an architect, which is a really good architect here in the area, Augie Reno, and he had some plans that they were going to build on there. So I talked to Augie on Monday, and he gave me some good pointers, and he suggested I contact Gary and Stacy at the town of Carefree to see if they would support this project. And when I went in there and met with them, they were like, oh my God, yes, this is exactly what we'd love to have here. And you're going to be doing exactly what you're doing now. We've already approved you to do it. So yes, we'll support you on this. And that was on Thursday. They couldn't meet me till Thursday. So on Thursday, I got off the phone. I left their meeting and called the owner, and we were in escrow that day, and we're closing tomorrow, or Friday. So that's how fast it happened. When, you know,
someone on here, go ahead, I'm sorry.
When it's almost like when God opens the door, you got to go through it, you know, because I've had a lot of doors closed this last year. So this is pretty exciting for us.
So I'm a firm believer, doors closing and doors opening. And you always have to have the courage to walk through, right? Walk through the door.
And quite honestly, this is my wife. My wife's, she's a sharp woman that, you know, she gets it. She sees big picture. And, you know, when you figure this was her concept from the beginning, she's a president of the business, and she's like, okay, now we need to go to our next step. You know, she can't work it full time right now, or even part time for that matter. She works full time still out of the house. She's a vice president of risk management for an insurance company. And between the benefits and the salary and the bonuses, it's like really hard to leave, but it's getting close to the point where it makes sense for her to spend full time here. So we hope maybe towards the end of this year, she can come in and be full time, and that'll really make a big difference. Plus we get along, so that helps.
Well, someone definitely helping you market and think of new things. They're saying you should set up an online store, sell your logo, merchandise like your Carefree bourbon, glasses, shot glasses, etc.
That's on the agenda to do. That is absolutely on the agenda to do, and we're, you know, it's baby steps. You know, you got to make sure you have all your ducks in a row. And right now, changing the name of the business, we need to make sure we get that out to the people in a reasonable rollout. I haven't even put together press releases yet for it. You're kind of the first to hear it full blast. So it's a process that, you know, luckily being a business person in my past life and understanding going into multiple states and the things you have to do to become a legal business in the state and then to get the proper liquor licenses in the state. I've learned that over my career, so it's not something everybody could do if you didn't have the background for it. Even though it's a different business, it just makes it easy for me. And I like to build.
Someone asked where you get your labels and bottles ordered from.
So the labels, when we first started, so for the Carefree Bourbon label, okay, when we were first getting started, I went to DeVry School of Graphics and Design, and I laid out what we were trying to do, that we were going to do Carefree Bourbon. And I offered all the graphic designers, if they wanted to get involved in it, we'd pay them $100 if we used their design, and they could use the design in their books. And we got designs of Black Mountain. We got designs of the sundial, although that looked like a phallic symbol on the bottle. And then we got this arrowhead, the bull, you know, skull on the design. And when my wife saw that the first time, she goes, "I'm not having a dead skull on my bottle." Then we brought in a focus group and we did tastings, and we had, Gina was part of that, where we tasted. No one was allowed to talk. They had to score different recipes that we have in storage. And then we showed everybody the different designs for the labels. And hands down, the Carefree Bourbon with the skull head was the dominant winner. And my wife looks at me and goes, "Okay, looks like we got our label." And then with the Chakra Vodka labels, we ran into a design company out of Oregon, and we spent probably 4 months with them looking at all kinds of different potential designs. And that took a long time to get the labels. And then, so we have a labeling, we get our labels from a company out of Oregon, which was a recommendation from the design company that created the labels for us. And the labels, when you put them all together on the shelves, they're just, you know, people buy the bottles just for the labels. I've had women come in and buy every single bottle just to take them home and put them on their bars. So it's just, you know, it's been luck. We get our bottle for our bourbon bottles is brought in from Italy. Our bottles for our vodka is brought in from the US. It's made in Chicago. And we use the same top for both the bourbon and the vodka. So we use the same bar top, and we get those also from Chicago.
Well, we're getting close to the end. We do have some announcements to make as a chamber. So we have time for one more question if you want to put it in the chat. And our marketeer that's on our call tonight, he says that you need to order custom printed labels, gift boxes. People will give them as personal and corporate gifts and pay a big premium. So lots of ideas.
we do have the gift boxes, and we have a local company, Kevin Aldridge with Ace Packaging, is a regular. He lives in Cave Creek, and his packaging company made all the inserts for our gift boxes for both the vodka and the bourbon. So we're trying to do as much local as we can. and we want to continue to do that. And I can't thank everybody enough for being a part of this and listening to our story. And I know there's a number of you that have actually been in the tasting room, and we appreciate it.
Well, before I hand it back to Colleen, I just want to say thank you, Mike, so much. The tasting room is located at 6201 East Cave Creek Road, right at the other end of the building from the Cave Creek Olive Oil Company. So I'm pretty sure there's still time to get over there and have a craft cocktail or two before you head home for the night. So I hope everyone enjoyed the presentation, and take it over, Colleen. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Wow, that was really, really awesome. I really enjoyed hearing everything. That deep dive. I mean, I'm going to be in there buying gift cards for my in-laws who are impossible to buy for. So that's a gift that's going to keep on giving to me. So thank you for that. And thanks for everybody for being on this call tonight. I hope you found it as interesting as I did. And I just want to give you a few announcements. There are some spaces left for the next breakfast, the February breakfast, February 25. We will sell out again. We only have a handful of seats left. So if you haven't signed up and you're interested in coming, please do so. You can just go online. On the events calendar, things to do are in blue. So look for that date and click on it and you'll be able to register. And we do have our next Zoom mixer signed up for next month, which is also the 10th. It's going to be Time to Ride AZ. So if you're interested in off-roading, if you have an off-road vehicle that might need servicing, if you're interested in renting one, if you want personal watercraft, these guys do it all. And they really have a lot of fun while they're doing it too. So that'll be an interesting call as well. So that's always the second Wednesday of the month. So that's all I have. Sign up for breakfast if you hope to come. I know a lot of you on this call are already signed up, so thank you for that. And I look forward to seeing you all very soon. And thanks again to Mike. Let's give him a big round of applause.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for coming.
Okay. Colleen?
Have a great night.
I need to change the name on my membership to Carefree.
Yes.
If we can get that. Okay. Thank you.
We'll call you.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.